Shalom, shalom, Israel, brother Amos with the Watchman for Israel. First and foremost, as we always do, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to the brothers pushing this truth and strong sincerity, laboring on the highways and byways, making their body a living sacrifice, doing all they can for the hopeful elect and for the nation of Israel. I want to give you all a strong shalom to the sisters holding it down in the households, reverencing their husbands, being a teacher of good things to the younger women, and unto the children. I want to give y'all a strong shalom. And to the sisters holding it down, or I already said that, to the men and women forsaking this world and coming back to serving our God, Yahweh Shem Yahshai. I want to compel y'all to be as a church of Berea, to search the scriptures daily and diligently to see if the words that be spoken to you are true or not. Right? Let the words of Yahweh Shem Yahshai be true and every man a liar. If it's not, thus saith the Lord, coming from the holy scriptures, being the words of the Lord via the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers, then cast it behind you and seek and hearken to men who speak, thus saith the Lord, right? Because that's where we're at in these last days. It's a lot of seducing spirits, a lot of off-saying, a lot of wickedness that's being talked about from men who feign themselves to be men of the Lord, but are truly just men who heap men upon them and speak, you know, thus of their own belly, not thus of the Lord, right? So, quick cold cut that we're going into is about rulership. It's about rulership, man, right? This is what we're looking forward to, right? Let me get this preset real quick before we go into it. And this is Matthew chapter 24. I don't know why my thing is saying First Corinthians. Let me start it over. There we go. Matthew chapter 24, in verse number 45. We're going to read down to 47. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord have made ruler over his household to give meat in due season, right? So the Lord is looking for faithful servants, right? What does it mean to be a faithful servant? Always being there when the master needs you, tending to the master's want and needs, making sure the master doesn't want for anything. Now we have a much greater master than these men on this earth. Our Father who doesn't desire anything but oblations of us doing good work in obedience, right? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find him doing. Find so doing. So that servant is going to be blessed if the Lord comes back at, what time is it, 6:51? At April 4th, 6:51 in the morning, if the Lord comes back and you find that servant doing this work, that servant is blessed. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. So if the Lord finds you doing things that you ought to be doing, staying occupied, feeding the sheep, keeping the commandments, making sure your family's keeping the commandments, making sure your family understands the reason why they keep the high holy days, the reason why we call ourselves Israelites, the reason how we know we're Israelites, the Lord is going to make you ruler over his goods. He's going to give you a portion of his kingdom, right? Because we're joint heirs with the Lord. So to be a joint heir, we're going to receive that promise that is given unto Yahushua. And he'll be set over us as the king. But that kingdom of heaven is going to be for men. It's going to be for the Israelite men, women, and children, right? Nobody is looking forward to more oppression here. Nobody's desiring the day where they can say, I put in 80 years of work, now I can retire for 2 years and then give up the ghost and not get to enjoy my labor. That's what's That's what it means when the wicked rule, that everybody mourns. Everybody's mourning the fact that we have to go to work. Everybody's mourning the fact that we still give up the ghost. Everybody's mourning the fact that you got to pay taxes. Inflation is increasing. Nobody is safe. Our children come up missing. Our children are getting gunned down. We have to worry about these drugs in the food. We got to worry about these drugs in the street. Got to worry about infirmities and ailments in the flesh. This is not peace. This is not living. But when the righteous come in and flourish, all these atrocities and ailments that we deal with, it's going to be out the window. And this is Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Right? The people are mourning. Even the people who aren't here in Babylon the Great are mourning. Because the so-called white man is ruling this earth. Job 9 and 24. The wicked are in authority right now. The wicked are doing unrighteous dealings. The wicked are putting unrighteous laws into place. You know, the scriptures tell you, woe to him that calls evil good and good evil. So if we were to speak out about abortion, woe is us. We're the wicked. Now our people are so brainwashed that we're on the so-called white man's side to want to kill our children. We're on the white man's side to pass laws to allow us to kill children. Then the scriptures tell you, thou shalt not kill. In loose terms, pretty much, thou shalt not murder. That's not your body that you're deciding to destroy. You're the soil. If that was the case, to use an analogy for it, you wouldn't go and burn the soil for bringing forth an apple tree when it's an orange grove. You wouldn't do that. But now our people are so brainwashed because the wicked are in authority that you got our people fighting each other to be Republicans and Democrats. You got our people fighting each other because they want Joe Biden and another person wants Donald Trump. Everybody's mind is confused because we're mourning. We are mourning, and we don't even realize that we're trying to find mechanisms to cope with our mourning. We're trying to find ways to deal with being depressed. We're trying to find ways to deal with the anguish that we deal with. So we turn to the so-called white man like he's God. Like he's truly the one who's going to help us. Like he's truly the one who gives us the strength to wake up every morning, who puts a breath in our lungs, who gives us the understanding on how to move in the spirit. Now let's go to Isaiah chapter 32 in verse number 1. You know, man, I mourn every day dealing with these goddamn white people all the time who are proud, dealing with these Ishmaelites every day who are proud, where it's just these Hamites who are proud. You know, it's burdensome, man. So we mourn. You have to mourn. If you're not part of the elect, then you're not part of the elect if you don't mourn. And cry for the atrocities you see. This is more than enough punishment to realize that it's time for the righteous to be in authority. It's time for the righteous to flourish throughout the earth. That the Lord appoints men who is going to set up order, not according to this man's society, but according to the law, statutes, and commandments that Yahweh Shem Yahshua set appointed us. Right? This is Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 1. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment, and a man shall be as a hiding place for wind, and a cover from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. And the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. Right? So we're in those days where the Lord is establishing an altar in Egypt, setting up elect men. Right? No, we don't know who the elect men are in this day and age. No, we don't know who's King David. Ooh, sorry. No, we don't know who's King David. No, we don't know who is Daniel back on the earth. No, we don't know who Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Baruch, uh, Samuel, all these astounding men. We don't know who they are. There's no remembrance of things that they done in ancient times, if they are here today, right? But we know those men are being set up in these last days. The princes shall rule in judgment, right? The princes are going to be the ones who are moving and walking and setting order. It's going to be like how you have a huge source of water, say like a lake. What's a freshwater lake? I don't know. We'll have freshwater lake. What's it gonna do? It's gonna issue into the streams. It's gonna issue into the rivers, the bayous, and all those other areas. So the source of the water is gonna be issuing out into all these other bodies of water. So that's how it's gonna be when the kingdom of heaven comes. You're gonna get that issuing out from the Lord, and it's gonna be passed down unto men. Right? Let's go to Joel. Excuse me. Let's go to Joel chapter 3, verse number 18. And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters. And a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord and shall water the valley of Shittim. Right? So it's gonna be an issuing out. Once we're back in authority, once we're back in rulership, once we're back to where we need to be, and we're back to the estate that the Lord stripped from us, as being those angels that fell. You're gonna see the trees flourish, not in Babylon the Great. This place is gonna be destroyed in an hour, right? Uninhabitable. But you're gonna see the land of Israel be flourishing again, beautiful vineyards, water and valleys and animals under subjection. You're going to see everything the way that the Lord intended it to be, right? Rulership is coming. It won't be long. It won't be long. You just got to make sure you're holding fast to what you need to hold fast to. All right, let's go to Isaiah again. Chapter 49. Let me start at 6. Isaiah chapter 49 and verse number 6. He said, "It is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be the salvation to the end of the earth." Right? So the Lord is telling you it's a light thing to reserve Israel to the status that they were in. It's a light thing for the Lord to make Israelites to think about themselves as kings and priests and princesses and the daughters of Zion over niggas, hoes, thugs, gangsters, thots, hoochies, whatever we call ourselves. That's a light thing for the Lord. It's a light thing to do a whole 180 Have our sisters wearing modest clothes, not listening to that ignorant ass sexy red, not listening to these ignorant ass men rappers who talk about killing and doing drugs all day. It's a light thing for the Lord to do that, but that's going to be in due season when rulership is back in our hands. Thus saith the Lord, the Redeemer of Israel, and his Holy One, to whom men despise, to whom nations abhor, to the servant of rulers, kings shall see and arise, princes also shall worship, because of the Lord that is faithful, and the Holy One of Israel, he shall choose thee. So the Lord is stirring up the minds of these nations to understand what's going on. You got Russia bringing out artifacts and Russian icons where it's showing the true image of the people who are lost, and it's being displayed for the whole world. Now you got people saying, "Oh, that's a deep fake. That's not real. That's not a deep fake." The Russian icon's been out for the longest. Iconoclasm happened for a reason, right? The Renaissance happened for a reason, to erase the image, so that it will be a light thing for the Lord to bring back the reserves of Israel. And we know what's coming on. We in the time of iron and clay mixed together, that weak material that makes the whole earth to tremble. We're in that time, right? America is not only true ally America has is Israel, not the people, but the fake out country that was established in 1948. Everybody else, America's at odds with Great Britain. America's at odds with France. They just don't tell you this on the news. They just make it seem like everything is sweet, everything is okay. Everybody's best friends and they hold hands and they have Taco Tuesdays in each other's country once a month. That's not how it goes, right? Everybody aboards the whore, and this whore is in for swift and rude destruction. This is Daniel chapter 2. We're going to go down to verse number 44. And in those days of the kings shall God of heaven set up a kingdom. So what days are we in right now? We're in the days of those kings who ruled the earth. Not one king, how it was in the ancient world. Or you had a huge conquest and put provinces and territories under your subjection. Nebuchadnezzar did that. Darius, Xerxes, Alexander the Freak, ancient Rome. They did that. They came and conquered territories in all these places and put them under their subjection. But now it's all spread and mixed through. No one nation truly rules the whole earth. Now, America is close. America is very close. They fear America because of the witchcraft that they established with their bombs and their armies and the threats. But that's coming to an end. Nobody's scared of America anymore, right? Russia is calling their bluff. North Korea is calling their bluff. China's calling their bluff. Iran is calling their bluff. And you're seeing it. You're seeing it before your very eyes. So the Lord is setting up the kingdom of heaven. First by setting order in Israel. He's waking up men and women to understand the times that we live in and to get in order, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So the Lord is setting up a kingdom that's going to be here forever. The heathen have their time to rule. They destroyed the earth. I'm on my way to earth now. I'm looking at this bridge. This bridge was destroyed. They destroyed their own infrastructure. They destroyed the water. They destroyed the air. Look at all the pollution around. Look at all the damn chemtrails everywhere. Look at the water and tell me, is it blue and clear? Or is it brown, murky, and dirty? Right? Because the Lord's kingdom is going to stand forever. You're going to have water that's fresh. The animals are going to be clean. We're going to be free of diseases and sicknesses. Right? For as much as thou sawest that stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and it break in pieces the iron and brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God had made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, in the dream is certain, in the interpretation thereof is sure. So it's been told since the ancient world that Yahweh Shem Shah's kingdom is being set up in the times of in the times of these kings. So our rulership is already coming into place. And you can smell it, you can feel it, you can hear it, you can taste it. You can feel it, man. The kingdom is in you. Watch. Watch. So be prepared for rulership. One last precept before I close out. Right. Isaiah chapter 19, verse number 16. One of my favorite precepts, man. This is just a reminder that nothing that we're doing is in vain. Nothing that we put our hands forth to is in vain, right? This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 16. In that day shall Egypt be like unto a woman, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord's host, which he shaketh. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid of himself because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he has determined against it. Right? So everybody's gonna be scared in Egypt, which is Babylon the Great, because of the things that is happening first and foremost in Judah. Right? First and foremost in Judah, because the Lord is gonna wake up the tents of Judah first. Right? Why is that? Because this is the tribe that the kings come from. And from the kings issues out rulership. It issues out order. It issues out structure. So let's jump to 19. In that day shall there be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof, and it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt, for they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors, and he shall send them a Savior and a great one, and shall deliver them. So this is the altar that's being set up. The elect is that altar that's being set up. Because nothing else is going to be able to withstand that Savior that's coming. Who's going to redeem the elect of Israel out of these captivities? Then shall true rulership begin. Then shall righteous rulership begin. But here is the patience and the faith of the saints. You have to keep the commandments and endure. But there I say, Shalom.